Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 1108th day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Russia has lost approximately 882,950 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war. The number includes 1,150 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 3 tank, 23 armored combat vehicles, 16 artillery systems, 95 drones and 72 vehicles. Norway is significantly increasing its support to Ukraine. In 2025, Norway decided to provide an extraordinary contribution of $7.7 billion. In the last 24 hours, the Russians launched 109 combat clashes and carried out 67 airstrikes, including 60 guided bombs on the territory of Ukraine. They also used 1240 kamikaze drones and carried out around 4,000 attacks on the positions of Ukrainian troops and settlements using various types of weapons. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports. On the 4th of March 2025, Russian President Putin announced that Russia had completed issuing passports to Ukrainians in illegally occupied Ukrainian territories. Interior Minister Kolokotsev reported that 3.5 million Russian passports had been distributed, up from 2.8 million in March 2024. Access to essential services in these regions is conditional on having a Russian passport, which also makes holders eligible for military conscription. Ukrainians without a Russian passport risk property seizures. These actions reflect Russia's ongoing policy of enforcing control and Russification in occupied areas. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. Russian President Vladimir Putin and other Kremlin officials explicitly rejected making any concessions in future peace negotiations or accepting any US, European, or Ukrainian peace proposals, and the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs rejected the possibility of a negotiated ceasefire on March 6. Russian officials will likely take advantage of the suspension of US military aid to and intelligence sharing with Ukraine to spread a long-standing Russian information operation meant to falsely portray Russian victory as inevitable. The Kremlin welcomed the Trump administration officials' recent comments mischaracterizing Russia's illegal and unprovoked invasion of Ukraine as a proxy war, and Russian media portrayed the statement as an admission that the United States is a participant in the war. US and Ukrainian delegations will conduct bilateral meetings in Saudi Arabia next week. Ukrainian opposition politicians rejected the possibility of holding elections in Ukraine before the end of the war. European countries continue to announce new military assistance packages and other measures to support the Ukrainian military. Ukrainian forces recently advanced in the Pokrovsk direction, and Russian forces recently advanced in the Kupiansk, Borova, Siversk, Pokrovsk, and Kurakov directions. Russian President Vladimir Putin attempted to assuage Russian fears about conscripts going to war amid continued reports that Russian military units are forcing conscripts to sign contracts with the Russian Ministry of Defense. In President Zelensky's nightly address, he spoke about 3 key areas. Firstly, Ukraine repels large-scale Russian airstrike. Ukrainian forces successfully defended against a massive Russian aerial assault involving over 260 missiles and drones. Fighter jets, air defense units, and electronic warfare teams played a key role, with Ukrainian F-16s and French Mirage aircraft proving effective. President Zelensky praised the military's professionalism and vowed to strengthen defenses further. Secondly, international support grows for Ukraine's defense. European allies have stepped up their commitments, with Norway pledging $7.7 billion, much of it for weapons production in Ukraine. France is expediting security aid, the Netherlands is investing €700 million in drone production, and the Baltic states are also increasing support. Key security agreements with EU leaders have been secured. Lastly, diplomatic efforts intensify for peace talks. Zelensky reaffirmed Ukraine's commitment to achieving a just peace while holding Russia accountable for continued attacks. Next week, Ukraine will engage in high-level discussions across Europe, the US, and Saudi Arabia to push for a diplomatic resolution. Talks with President Trump's team have been particularly intensive, focusing on accelerating peace efforts. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.